You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chilson, and this is a Game of Thrones reaction video. And to react to Season 5, Episode 7 with me, I am joined by my co-host, Tyler. Hey, Tyler.
Hello. Always exciting to return to Game of Thrones. Last episode was, didn't end in a very nice place. It was very somber episode. Hoping for a little bit more of a, I guess, positive, upbeat experience with this episode. As upbeat as Game of Thrones can be, I guess.
Yeah.
But very excited to get back into it, just because with everything in the last episode. I can only imagine we go up from here. I'm very intrigued to see where some
Yeah.
of this stuff goes.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those times where you're ready to just jump into another episode to kind of wash the depression out
Yeah.
after the last one.
I was I was very it was a very dark episode last week. Afterwards, I was not particularly happy or in a good mood. I had to watch something else to kind of calm myself.
Well, last episode it ended with Sansa getting married to Ramsay, and Ramsay being generally wretched as per usual to both Sansa
Uh,
and to Reek to close things out. Earlier in that episode, we saw Littlefinger has made his way to King's Landing. He is seeing the faith militant, the Sparrows, at work, taking down his brothel businesses.
Poor
And
guy.
he's striking deals with CERSEI to try to become the warden of the North in exchange for her help, basically. So, and
Hmm.
they're still wheeling and dealing both sides of the
All he
fence,
does.
as he does. Then we saw Lady Olenna also make her way back to King's Landing to confront Cersei, who is still trying. I don't know why she tries to convince people or tell people I didn't have Loras imprisoned. Nobody's buying it, Cersei. Stop. But Lady Olenna basically is like, okay, girl, well, we're getting my grandson out, or I'll go ahead and cut off resources to King's Landing. How about that?
Clean
so they
behavior.
so they go, Marjorie and Loras have a trial, and good old Oliver ruins everything and gets
Horrible.
both Marjorie and Loras taken into custody by the Sparrows while Tommen sits and watches.
Just does nothing. Nothing at all. Just like sits there and just looks stupid, basically.
Then we get Jamie and Braun are working their way towards Dorne, and they are going to kidnap slash rescue Marcella, but she's actually quite content with her husband to be right now. And the Sand Snakes, after torturing Homeboy on the beach, know that they're coming and got their card. So, showdown in the
Well,
gardens take place.
that was definitely that was something.
Uh, it was something happened out there in the gardens, but it results in Jamie and Braun, as well as all three of the Sand Snakes and Ilaria being taken prisoner in Dorne. Then we have Arya, who is continuing her training. She lies to get this little girl to drink the death water and die because her father says she's just terminally ill and he can't watch her suffer and go through this any longer. And that convinces our good Jack and Hagar to at least bring her to the next step of her training. And we, as well as Arya, see the Hall of Faces all along the wall. But it sounds like Arya is going to be given a mission to become someone else. And finally, Tyrion and Jorah continue their journey. Tyrion accidentally spills the beans that Jorah's father is dead. So that was a revelation for
Kind of
Jorah.
awkward, I guess. Like, whoops. Sorry, your dad's dead.
And as they are working their way along, they get captured by these boats who initially want to just chop off Tyrion's penis and sell it to a merchant. But Tyrion, he's got a way with words. He's like, hold up. No, that's not happening today. And he convinces them that Jorah is one of the greatest warriors in all of the world. He killed a Dothraki blood rider all by himself, which which is true. We saw it with our own eyes. But
Yeah.
they're now taking Jorah and Tyrion to the slave fighting pits that still exist. Well, fighting pits that they try to convince aren't slaves. I don't know. It's still a mess. Everything around Marine and bordering cities are still a mess.
Yeah, it's still a little bit up in the air, I guess. The paperwork, if you will, the contracts, the details.
But the important thing is, even though they're captured, they're still on their way towards Daenerys.
Which, I mean, win-win, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. So that was episode 6. This episode is titled The Gift. So, yay, presents.
Yeah, The Gift, the Joel Edgerton film,
Yeah,
Jason Bateman.
It was not quite a pleasant gift. So let's hope that this episode is a little bit more pleasant than that gift was.
I don't know. It's Game of Thrones. I don't know.
Optimistic thinking for sure. All right, well, let's get into it.
Oh. That's what's like outside my house right now. The start of our very fun, exciting journey with Tormund and John.
Sir Alistair looking like his usual jolly self.
Yeah. Just eyeballed him the whole time.
Foolhardy, and an insult to all the brothers who have died fighting the wildlands.
Ian thank you for your cannot help himself.
Well, good thing we don't have to listen to you then. Right? I mean...
It's like there was a better way to just say, I don't agree with your mission, good luck. And then there was that.
Yeah. A gift?
It's dragon glass. It's what I used to kill
Oh, yeah, a gift. Figure he might need that.
Yeah.
Figure that'll come back eventually.
Good job, Samuel. Always looking out.
Can't be any worse. It can. It can always be worse.
I guess he's kind of the blueprint for the worst option. Poor son.
Climb to the top of the broken tower. Light this candle and put it in the window. Promise me, Theon.
Read! My name is me.
Your name is Theon Greyjoy. Theon.
I'm glad somebody's finally smacking some sense into him about his whole name thing. Speaking of the Greyjoys, I'm guessing they just fully, wholeheartedly just given up on him after that one time they left.
Well, do you think he's emotionally stable enough to go do your mission, son?
Right, yeah. He doesn't seem like he's in sound mind. That's when you have no other options, unfortunately. Ooh.
Yes, Reek.
You done goofed. Just go in there anyway, Brienne, please.
Now you're worse off, Sansa, than you were before.
I guess he's just gone full mad now. Jump scare.
Mr. Eggman with the jump scare.
Random jump scare. Egg! Oh. R.I.P.
Lasted a long time.
Yeah. Was it like one of the first people I've seen actually like die of like a normal natural causes death in this show?
Just died of old age.
Yeah, I think everybody else in this show I've seen has been like murdered in some shape or form. We'll miss you. He was too good for these people.
No, that's for sure. I'm not the only one who talks some sense into this fool here.
Right.
You're losing all your friends, darling.
Well, I guess you better watch your back, Samuel.
Alistair, you've been up here with this man a long time. He mentored y'all for a long time, and that's what you're thinking about right now?
Right, yeah. Priorities. He sucks.
Oh, you're out of the room, Sansa?
Darth Sidious.
One day I'll be Lord of Winterfell and Warden of the North.
I hope not.
You will be my lady.
But isn't your stepmother pregnant?
What of it?
Oh,
What happens if she has a boy?
Your northern friend. Reek told me you wanted to leave. Why?
Reek.
Winterfell is your home, and I'm your
You suck, Reek.
tough
Ugh.
old
Disgusting.
Everyone talks when I start peeling them. You do weak and tough in the north.
Yay. Our boy.
I mean, yeah, they're not doing so hot out here. Oh.
No.
We're running out of food. We can't open the supply line until the snow clears.
They didn't really think this part through.
What else? The storm crows rode off last night.
Oh.
500 men.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's better to wait for the right time than risk everything.
This is the right time, and I will.
Say, like, he might not have anybody left to go
We
at this
march
rate.
to victory, or we march to defeat. But we go forward, only forward.
I see we're being stubborn.
We have someone better. And your blood runs through her veins.
Oh.
Have you lost your mind?
Do you doubt me? Still? After all that you've seen?
Must be another way.
Is she suggesting what I think she's suggesting?
You must become king before the long night begins.
She
Only you can lead the living against the dead.
Wait.
All your life. Decision.
She's my daughter.
Oh, come on. That's like the only good part about those two.
At least he dismissed her. Well, it's on.
Yeah, it's like, no thanks.
I mean, I guess shoot your shot, girl.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Oh, if you were my girl, I won't leave you alone. One little kiss. I'll give him a kiss.
Well, this is not going well. Where are you,
A
Samuel?
little affection.
Ooh. Yeah!
Hands off her. With Derek.
He's ready. He's locked and loaded.
I believe he
Pulls
goes
out the
to
sword and
guard.
everything.
Sam the Slayer.
Well,
Well,
that backfired.
it's a good attempt, Sam. Oof. Man.
I mean, these men are the worst.
Get yourself killed.
Well, lover Jon Snow's not here to
Oh, God.
I killed the White Walker. I killed the Fen.
Yeah, stand up for yourself.
Ooh.
Or you could just have ghosts.
Yeah, it goes. Perfect timing. Mhm.
All right. Oh, well, that's all.
Ain't so bad
Love it.
now, are you?
We love a good ghost saving the day.
I'm all right.
Haven't seen him in a while.
Good Ghost. Such a good boy, Ghost.
No.
I'll take care of you too.
Good for you, Samuel, standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
I need more water.
Woo! Yay!
Finally, yeah.
All it took was like being beat within an inch of your life. But good for him. Oh, we're taking this to the next level, eh?
Well, maybe the adrenaline will help the pain.
Woo!
Look at Sam breaking his oath.
Yeah, that's also true.
Oh my.
He's doesn't know what to do. Well, good for him.
Not the oh my.
Oh my!
This one's a Westerosi night.
Aren't they supposed to be like free people fighting in these things? They're just rolling up in chains. Isn't that literally the whole point of this?
I mean, this is why she was hesitant to even open them, because she knew.
He killed the great Khal Drogo in
Well,
single combat.
Well,
that's not accurate.
okay, now we're embellishing.
All right, we're just telling stories at this point.
12 gold.
You have to buy me as well. Why?
2 for 1.
We're a team.
Uh-oh. Got that aggression, I guess. Ooh.
Here, you want a demonstration?
Yeah, I'm a good fighter. Believe me. All right, the 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting down and dirty in this episode, aren't they?
Great masters and wise masters and worthy masters you can find. And slaughter them all.
I'm a queen.
He's just like, I'm choosing violence, like immediately. Gather them and kill them all.
Arya's like, look, I've been down you. Kill these goddamn monsters already. That's his only advice ever.
Chaos.
You there?
Oh.
Where would I find the High Septon or High Sparrow or whatever?
Oh God, our queen.
He's got.
It's not as good a name as Queen of Swords.
Well, this is gonna be good.
You should have the decency to stand when you speak to a lady.
You should have the decency to kneel before the gods.
Don't spar with me, little fellow.
He's like, don't even try it.
For me,
Don't spar with me.
A man of the people who does CERSEI's dirty work for her.
She just came in and just ripped him to shreds, didn't she?
Some of the homilies, I can smell a fraud from a mile away.
If you break his laws, you will be punished.
Don't you walk away from me.
you don't give commands here, Lady Ellen.
How do they communicate their demands? By raven or horse?
By the holy text, the seven-pointed staff.
When House Tyrell stops sending our crops to the capital, everyone here will starve. And I make sure the hungry know who's to blame.
Ooh.
You are the few. We are the many. And when the many stop fearing the few,
Well, that was fun.
Starving yourself won't make things any better for her, my love.
That's what he's doing.
She's in a prison
It's
cell.
upset, Simon. You had an opportunity.
I am the king. The queen is in prison and there is nothing I can do.
That's kind of your fault. Whatever.
I'll call in the army. I'll take back the sept and kill every last one.
Well, I mean, you're on the right track, I guess.
Will speak with the High Sparrow. There must be something.
Let me talk to him on your behalf.
Oh, come on.
Oh, God.
King could
Tommen.
easily himself negotiate a
Just let you
non-negotiable
just do something.
You
I mean,
tried to help her.
I'll do everything I can to win her freedom and her brothers. Your happiness is all I want in this.
you really think that Cersei
I know.
likes either of these two people? Let alone will
You
like them
know
enough to
she
help
doesn't,
you?
Tommen.
Like, how can you be this
Until you
dumb?
have to-
I mean, his sister's having a great time.
Yeah, the one that got far away from Cersei is like, oh,
Ironic.
hey,
That works,
I'm
right?
living my best life.
Right, yeah.
Love Tristane. I'm going to marry him and we're staying right here.
I don't understand.
Of course you don't. You don't know me.
Well, that went well. They threw him in like the pits of hell with everybody else.
I wouldn't say you beat me.
How's your arm?
Wonderful.
I mean, based on how crappy that fight was, I don't know if really anybody won.
We all lost.
We lost.
Viewers included.
Yeah, we-
Everyone lost.
Women are the most beautiful.
Yeah, that was a horrible fight, unfortunately.
Your head.
This is very much escalated quickly, I would say. Here I was thinking that her sex was just gonna make him pass out. I mean, there are easier ways to get a compliment at somebody.
He said, bitch, you gonna tell me I'm the most beautiful one way than another, or you gonna die.
Well then,
How do you feel about these flirting techniques?
not really sure what this added to the story, but okay.
Right, it's over. They took all the prostitutes about her.
Wait, let me just look just in case. They ravaged that place.
Sorry about the locale.
No, you're not.
Ooh.
It felt like the safest place.
Not for your clientele, clearly.
Fate is continuing, I see.
Together we murdered a king. If my house should fall, I will have nothing to hide. And if I should meet with some accident here at your broken...
So it was a fun collaborative effort back then.
Find what's left of you. You do
All right.
part in all this? What kind of gift?
The same kind I gave CERSEI.
Oh. What could that possibly mean?
Sitting through the great games will be bad enough.
He's getting so close. He's getting so close to seeing her again.
It has been customary for our ruler to make the rounds of the lower pit.
Oh, he's shook. He said, "Oh shit, the queen is here!"
Like, oh my god! They got her in this like dingy looking hut looking thing. You can't be acted up now. Oh.
Oh, Jorah said, "Wait, what?"
She's too close. Queen.
He said, "Wait, let me out."
They just like, oh my god!
She's right there, Jorah.
Yell out to her. Jesus Christ. Yeah, he looks real thrilled to be there. She's like, can I leave?
It's a tradition for the queen to stay until the victor has emerged.
I've sacrificed more than enough for the traditions.
Yeah, screw that.
Oh, Jorah said, "No, no, no. Give me the sword.
Jorah's,
Something. I gotta get out there."
Jorah's like, I will kill all of you to get out of there. Oh, here we go.
It's like, wait a minute.
Ooh.
Oh.
He's like, screw that. Oh. Nope, time to kill this guy. Ooh. Ooh. Beat him with his own helmet. Oh. Come on. Oh. He's actually helping. Surprise! Well, I don't. That doesn't look like it's the reaction you wanted. He's like, oh, you may have won. I don't want to see you.
Who are you?
I am the gift.
Love it.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Your Grace.
Tyrion Lannister is
My name
the
is Tyrion
gift.
Lannister.
I'm sure this scene's gonna go well.
Are they feeding you enough at least?
She says that on the outside, but I know on the inside she's pretty happy, you know?
It's quite good.
I would not trust anything that woman gives me.
For supper only last night. I swear to you by all the seven gods. Lies come easily to you. Everyone knows that.
She's just like, stop the BS.
Perhaps that's why your son was so eager to cast you aside from me.
Whoop.
I don't want to see you again. I do have to.
There's not gonna be a next time.
I've been told men often go mad in the black cells beneath the Red Keep.
Get out, you hateful bitch!
She's like smiling the whole time. Come on, man. Like you can't, like it's very obvious. Well, at least she had the right idea about, you know, not eating whatever that was. She's still grinning. Like, evil woman. But how can I hate her sometimes, you know? She's fun to hate, I suppose. Oh, here we go.
Accommodations seem sufficient. What happens to her now?
Those accommodations are not sufficient. She is in a cold, dark room with nothing.
To determine if they're guilty of any acts that might constitute a violation of the tenets of the faith.
Thank you, High Septon, for bringing them whatever justice they deserve in the eyes of the Seven.
What will we find when we strip away your finery? He has much to say about you.
Oh.
That doesn't sound pleasant. Well, I figured it was going to be him. Run! Oh no.
You will order her to let me go. I am the queen. I am the queen. Have you lost your mind?
They're just taking everybody, aren't they?
Ooh.
Lancel, you jerk.
Look at me.
It's the last thing you'll see before you die.
Well, knowing Cersei, that might be accurate.
Even if she's being imprisoned, she says, I'm gonna get a threat in real quick. Hold up.
One last one. Damn. I mean, now she's locked away too. I was kind of low key hoping like they're gonna throw her in with Marjorie just to spice things up. Why not? I think that'd be kind of funny. Just throw them in together. They can have some alone time. Probably fight to the death.
Cersei, girl, your plans are backfired.
Yeah. Well, now Tommen, I guess, is going to be even more distraught. He doesn't have anybody now, like at all. I'm assuming.
I will say, I don't know why she never put 2 and 2 together over this time since she saw that Lancel was a part of this group of crazy people. A little bit of vanity, a little bit of pride, untouchable Cersei.
I guess she just kind of underestimated him, I guess.
Like,
to
girl,
a degree.
You were sleeping with your own cousin and you conspired with him to kill Robert.
Yeah, I
And
mean
now
that's
he's
kind of
with
against
the High Sparrow.
it's kind of against whatever their laws are. Probably at least one of them.
At some point, this was gonna happen, girl, and I don't know why you weren't scheming against it earlier.
Yeah, I mean they don't even know the whole. I guess maybe they don't know the whole fact that she was with her brother too. I mean, they want to add insult to injury there. Jamie, don't come back. Don't come back, Jamie. It's not safe.
Well, got lots of gifts this episode. Name to the gift.
I am the gift.
We'll just pick up with that last one. Presumably, Lancel was Littlefinger's gift to Olenna in making sure he came forward so that Cersei got thrown into those prisons as well, at least, with Olenna's grandchildren. But throughout the episode, obviously, we see Cersei run around here, still scheming with Tommen, just kept him in check where she needs him. We see Olenna making threats to the High Sparrow in that little exchange. And then her exchange with Littlefinger also threatening him to be like, look, we killed Joffrey together, Littlefinger. Don't forget. So if anything happens to my house, you're going down. Like,
take him down with her.
They won't be able to find your body. You hear? So just remember, please. And then it all looped back around to the High Sparrow giving Cersei a nice little speech after she gave Marjorie a very insincere visit.
Yeah, that's one way to describe it.
And now she's thrown in a jail cell just like Marjorie. So, how did you feel about all of the King's Landing High Sparrow shenanigans?
Oh man, I mean, it was mess, but it was like good mess. You know, Olenna is always fantastic. Anytime she does anything, it's one of my favorite things in the entire show. Just reading everyone that she possibly can. And then we kind of, I guess that was kind of like the big reveal that they were working together to kill Joffrey. Because I mean, we kind of always knew. You know, really, I mean, it's hard to believe Littlefinger sometimes. So I kind of doubt some of the things he says to people. So I guess that is now it's, I guess, full on confirmation he actually did play a part in it, which is interesting. But yeah, I mean, all that other stuff. I mean, Tommen just sucks. I mean, let's put it lightly. I mean, he just doesn't do anything. You know, he's not a good king. He's very much led by everyone else, and it's just a really difficult situation to get behind just because he's just letting his entire family just get thrown in jail. These sparrows are doing everything, and he's just refusing to do anything. He says he'll do stuff, and then he goes and sends his mom to do it instead, which is, you know, I mean, it led to a funny scene, you know, just this very, like you said, insincere, funny conversation with Cersei and Marjorie, which, you know, Cersei was just in there to rub it in at that point. I mean, that was pretty dirty, but I don't know. I guess, karma in a sense with the Lancel stuff and Littlefinger bringing that to the table, the gift, and now she's in jail too, Cersei. So, I don't know.
The Cersei's plan of this whole season is just come back to bite her.
Yeah, it completely blew up in her face. Now she's
You're the
also
one who
in
brought the
jail.
sparrow in, and you were the one who wanted to go in there. If you had just let Tommen go to talk to the sparrow, your ass wouldn't have been captured.
No,
Not yet. At least you would have had some more time.
Yeah, and I guess leading into that, potential future things. I don't know what the hell Tommen's gonna do. He doesn't do anything without someone else kind of trying to lead him down a certain path. So he has to do everything himself now, I guess, because he doesn't have Cersei, doesn't have Marjorie. I guess maybe Olenna could help. I'm trying to think of like people that are left on the outside that may give a damn about him.
No, Tommen. Well, then over with the other Lannister camp, we did visit Dorne again, and Jaime
that was weird.
got to see Marcella, and she's basically like, "No, y'all sent me over here. I've been here for years. Like, this is my home. You don't even know me, Jaime. Like,
yeah,
go on back home. I want to stay. Thank you. I'm safe and I'm fine." So Jaime just was like, "Well, okay."
What do you say at that point?
Meanwhile, Bronn is in with the sand snakes, and one of them just seduces him after she poisoned him on the battlefield.
That was fun.
That was
I
the
guess.
entirety of the Dorne story.
Yeah, yeah, that was interesting. I liked. I felt like it was very unnecessary in the grand sense of everything, with everything going on. That's like a lot more important. It's just like a very quick scene of Jaime, Marcella, and she's just like, I'm staying. I'm like, okay. We kind of figured that already. And then with the stuff with Bronn. I feel like that it was a fun scene. It was very out of place, it felt like, in the grand scheme of the episode, where everybody's doing all this other big stuff. Then you have Bronn, I guess, being poisoned to death and being seduced at the same time by one of the sand snakes. I felt like it didn't really put into motion anything too interesting over in Dorne.
I guess it just hammered a point that we already knew, though. That's why it feels extra redundant. We know that Dorne, thanks to Oberyn, and these are his daughters, that's why they're known as the Sand Snakes, they poison their spears. But we already knew that information. I feel like that was what they thought the intent of this episode, is to show that these women poison their sticks, but we knew that. So yeah, it just
cool, I guess.
I don't know.
It just felt really random to just be like have this weird random seducing scene just so he gets the antidote. Like I thought it was gonna be more complex than I'm gonna give you the antidote once you compliment me.
Yeah, a very strange scene. I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because I was excited about the Sand Snakes. Of course, get a little biased because I love Jessica Henwick as an actress, and then they don't really do that much. Yeah. So I'm very underwhelmed at this point. For now, hopefully it changes, but for now I'm kind of underwhelmed with them.
Well, then up in the north, we saw Stannis for the first time since he left Castle Black to go down to Winterfell. There's a big storm taking the north right now in general, so his army is looking pretty ghastly. A bunch of horses are dying out there in the cold. A group of sellswords bounced. They just left Stannis' army, so he's looking like a dire straits. Davos is like, bruh, like, we're not, what are we gonna do? Like, this is a march to our death right now.
They're running out of people, sounds like.
Yeah. And Stannis is stubborn. He says, no, we will march forward, whether to defeat or to victory. We're going to keep moving. But then his veneer cracks a little bit when Davos leaves. And he's like, yo, Melisandre, are you sure this is right? She's like, yes, it's right. But just to make sure, I've shown you the power of king's blood in sacrifice. And Stannis did not take very kindly to Melisandre's suggestion of sacrificing his daughter. So, how did you feel about Stannis this episode?
I don't know. I feel like we're kind of at almost like a standstill, if you will, almost literally, I guess, with Stannis and his army, because they're just freezing to death, and as they march forward, I guess they're going to potentially lose more and more people and horses and supplies. Who knows what's going to be left to fight? the Boltons and all them eventually, if they do end up marching forward. Very stubborn of Stannis in general. I mean, that's kind of been his demeanor most of this series, I guess. Just blindly following Melisandre's magic abilities, I guess. I don't know. I feel like it's not going to work out too well for him, but maybe things will be different if he becomes a horrible person and tries to burn his daughter to death. That's what it seemed like we were kind of hinting towards, because there's not too many people. He doesn't have too many people in his family left at this point to burn to death. I guess that would be the one, unless he burns his wife, which I don't know. She might be into it, but who knows? Yeah, I don't know. Their storyline wasn't one of my favorites either. I mean, we're kind of coasting along with them. I don't think they're going to end up succeeding, unfortunately. As much as I wanted to root for them compared to the Boltons, because the Boltons suck.
Then on the other side, we saw Sansa approach Reek, tell him, no, you are Theon Greyjoy, damn it. Like, you betrayed my family and you owe it to me to help me right now. And so she gives him the candle and tells him to take it up to that damn tower and light it as Brienne is outside the gates waiting. So
Literally.
He
just this one random scene of Brienne.
Just standing there, yeah. Well, he takes the candle and then runs and gives it to Ramsay.
Mess.
And so Ramsay fillets the old woman who gave Brienne's message to Sansa, shows Sansa, tells her to go back to the room and take the candle with her. That she ain't going nowhere up in here.
Yes.
How'd you feel about Sansa and Reek and Ramsay?
I mean, that sucked, but not in the context of the story. But it sucked that she has to go through all this stuff still. I mean, it seemed like maybe we were kind of breaking through there. I'm glad that Sansa at least tried to get through to Theon/Reek and get him to be like snapped out of his like emotional mental abuse that he's been given by Ramsay. Sucks that it didn't end up working, because he just goes and just gives it to Ramsay and just foils the entire plan. So Sansa's still just trapped there to be miserable. I mean, I hope Brienne eventually just breaks in anyway. I mean, that's kind of like, it seems like that's going to be the only way at this point, because it seems, now that he knows, Ramsay knows, he's probably going to be more alert to the fact that she's going to go try and like that. But at the same time, if he knows that, he would probably be more worrisome of whatever is out there potentially coming towards him, because I mean, you have to be pretty close to see a candle. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, Ramsay sucks. He's always sucked, and he flayed that woman. I guess that's his thing. So he, R.I.P. that woman. She was pretty cool in like the 1 or 2 episodes we saw her in.
Then further north, we got Jon and Tormund headed on out finally on their little expedition, and Sir Alistair gives the speech of, just know you're betraying all the men who have died fighting for the Night's Watch for all of these years. So thanks a lot. You're spitting in all of our face.
Nice thing to say to someone before they go on their mission.
So they're headed out. Then we see Maester Aemon unfortunately passes away, but it is the most peaceful death in all of Game of Thrones so far.
At this point that I can think of, yeah.
Just passes away of old age. He's lived a very long life. He was the oldest character alive. And so R.I.P. Maester Aemon. We're glad you made it this far.
We're glad that he didn't get like murdered violently at some point.
He didn't die in the attack of Castle Black by the wildlings or something. Thank God.
Right. Yeah, he got to live out his life peacefully.
But of course, Sir Alistair takes that opportunity to tell Sam all of his friends are gone. He's got no more friends, basically, up here. And that is followed up by Gilly being like attacked by these 2 men of the Night's Watch who tried to rape her. Sam comes in to save her and gets himself beat into a bloody pole.
Yeah.
But he made a stand, damn it. But thankfully,
that was good.
Thankfully, Ghost was right around the corner to come on
in
and scared him away.
Convenient plot device there.
Ghost always, obviously. I mean, he's always been curious with Miss Gilly since the first time he met her, scaring her half to death. Now she knows. Now she's acquainted. Then Mr. Sam no longer has to ask John what it's like to be with a woman.
That should be an exciting conversation when they ever meet again.
Yes. So Sam and Gilly have cemented their relationship status in a new way this episode.
All these people are breaking their oath.
Yeah. Well, how'd you feel about all the stuff up with the Night's Watch?
Well, I mean, Sir Alistair sucks. I mean, that also. I mean, he's a terrible person. We've thought that before. Sad to see, Eamon go. I mean, he was very old, but I mean, I figured it was inevitable once he started, speaking crazy in this episode. I figured I didn't think we were that close to the end. I figured we maybe stretch it out a little bit longer, but he like you said, he lived a very long life, and he has like probably arguably the most peaceful death of anyone in the show so far to date. Season 5, we finally have someone die of like natural causes, which is interesting to me. I mean, Samwell is a character. It's been interesting seeing his growth because he, just as a character, and this seems to be like it's a great evolution in that now he's like standing up for himself and Gilly. I mean, sure, he had some help eventually with Ghost, but at least he still stood his ground and tried his best to, fight for her honor because, he cares about her and loves her so much. And it got him laid. Good for him. I mean, their relationship's been pretty fun too. I mean, we haven't really delved into it too deeply. I really don't think there's too much under the surface to really like dissect with their relationship. But it's been a fun, cute relationship. One of the, I guess, more wholesome relationships in Game of Thrones. So it's nice to see it continue to get better as seasons go on.
Well, our final storyline saw Jorah be purchased on this like black market slave trade that is still happening because of the fighting pits.
Which is not supposed to be a thing.
He gets purchased for a good amount of money because the man said he slayed Khal Drogo in single combat.
Yeah,
so people were real shook. They're like, oh, okay. Well, okay. But Tyrion, whoops, the boy holding his day. He beat the hell out of that man and said, look, I can fight. I told you. And so the guy's like, whatever, come along. And so Tyrion and Jorah on their way to work their way through the ranks of the fighting pits, starting down here in the little slums. Jorah catches wind that the queen is here after she has a little roll in the hay with Dario, who's like, yo, forget about his dar and just marry me. Like, come on, let's just get married. And she's like, you're like, no, I can't marry you. Like, I can't work with you. And he said, fine, then here's my advice. Round up all the masters and kill them. Dario is nothing if not consistent in his advice to Daenerys.
And most of his advice is just violence.
He said, kill him, please. But
I mean, I'm here for it sometimes.
Hey, so she goes with Lil Hizdar, who's all excited about these fighting pits. He finally got his wish, and they're open. She's not having it. She's very like, oh my God, this is just as terrible as I thought it would be. I don't love seeing men just kill each other for no reason, for sport. And then Jorah, he peeks out the window and sees that she's there. He rushes real quick to grab his stuff and pushes any and everybody out the way to get out of that battle. And that adrenaline got him to win, but he didn't quite get the response he was hoping for when he took that help.
No, that completely backfired. She was not interested at all.
Get him out. Get him away from me. And Tyrion, though, rushes out and says, look, I'm the gift. I am the gift. And that is where we left off with them. So how did you feel about Tyrion, Jorah, and Daenerys?
Tyrion and Jorah's journey. One I'm looking for. I figured they were going to see Daenerys eventually, just because of the way that the whole fighting pits thing, it just fit perfectly with what they were trying to accomplish. Pretty brutal, as you would expect. Kind of interesting that, we're supposed to be, these people fighting are supposed to be free. That that's literally the whole point of opening them back up. And then right in the beginning, they're sold off to fight in this thing. It's like, well, that completely just defeats the purpose of what they were trying to do to bring it back, which is kind of counterintuitive. Hopefully they address that. Otherwise, it's kind of like, okay, well, that's kind of messed up. Tyrion's been a Tyrion. I mean, he's very crafty, very clever, always been able to talk his way out of situations, and that continues so many times with this Jorah journey. I mean, how many times now has he talked Jorah out of being murdered or or at least injured and almost too mortally. I felt bad, but it was kind of funny seeing Jorah so excited to meet Daenerys again, and she just completely just shuts it down. Like, nah, you need to leave. Poor Jorah. All that time he was excited. He was like biding his time in the brothels and thought he was going to get up there, bring Tyrion, and she was going to bring him back with open arms. And she's just like, nah, go away.
Get out.
No thanks.
You're dismissed. Bye. I'm leaving.
Poor Jorah. After all that, he's still. Well, he's not even in the friend zone. I don't even think they're friends anymore.
Well, that leads us to predictions. Now that Daenerys is introduced to Tyrion Lannister, their first meeting happens. We have Jon and Tormund heading beyond the wall to go to Hardhome with the wildlings. We have good old Cersei thrown into the prison with Marjorie and Loras. And then we have Jaime and the Sand Snakes and Bronn just chilling.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was fun. It was fun for a minute, and then it's just been like downhill since we've gotten to the Dorne stuff.
And then Stannis marching forward with dwindling resources towards Winterfell. So, what are your predictions for the remaining couple of episodes?
I mean, I feel like Stannis is just gonna, lose resources more and more as his stubbornness kind of gets to the better of him. Hopefully, he doesn't end up burning his child. I mean, that would be pretty terrible. I mean, well, knowing Game of Thrones, it probably will happen because it's Game of Thrones. Kids generally aren't, that well off in this show. So, but hopefully, I'm wrong. What is there really to predict in Dorne? I feel like they'll just leave. Like all right, well, you don't want to come back. I guess I'll leave. Like, what else is? Yeah, I mean, I guess Ilaria and them are angry because they're angry about Oberyn, but it's like, what is the resolution here? I feel like there's not really like anything you can compromise about. Like they came to take Marcella back. She doesn't want to go back, and Ilaria wants to kill Jaime and them for them killing Oberyn. But it's like there's no compromise. It's either you just leave or they die. Like, or someone has to die or get over it. I don't really know where else you really could go with that story. It's kind of frustrating about the Dorne stuff. I guess there'll at least be one or two, I imagine, awkward conversations between Jorah and Daenerys in the future. I don't know what it'll entail. Hopefully, like I've been saying, Tyrion will probably save the day for Jorah, talk his way out of. I guess they'll be. They need to be freed. I guess I guess technically they're kind of slaves. So maybe they could be like, at least free us.
Maybe Tyrion could be like, "Hey, girl, didn't you outlaw this bullshit? They're holding slaves."
That's what I'm saying. Like, what the heck? Like, the whole point was they're supposed to be free, and then they have this little market where you just buy them. Like, I got bought to come here. I didn't try to be I didn't do this willingly, volunteer. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other storylines that I can think of. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited to see where Jon and Tormund go. I couldn't really predict what we're going to do there, necessarily, but I'm excited to see whatever happens because I think they're both two interesting characters.
All right. Well, who were your faves and least faves this episode?
Faves. I mean, Olenna is a good, Olenna, Tyrion. I mean, Jorah was okay, but I would put him in characters I like. I would put him in characters I. Yeah, I would put him in characters I liked. It's tough because it seems like as episodes go on, there are more characters I dislike than like. I don't know if that's the intention, but Samwell, Gilly, Ghost, I guess, by proxy.
Ghost,
he's
the MVP.
Well, Daenerys was kind of cool. I mean, she didn't really do anything.
That
she
face
just
drop entertained you enough.
That was yeah. Daenerys was fine. I mean, she didn't really do all that much.
Shaded poor Jorah.
But the Jorah shade, the Jorah shade was funny enough to throw that in there. I mean, least faves. I mean, Ramsay, Littlefinger, Cersei, the Sparrows, the Night's Watch, other than Samwell, the Sand Snakes, Stannis. I'm trying to think of the other characters that I can.
Would you put Melisandre with her crazy suggestion in there?
Well, no. I mean, Melisandre's. I mean, she's crazy, but
at least you know what to expect.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of just she kind of marches to the beat of her own drum, and Stannis kind of just like tags along with that. I guess the slave trader people that were trying this, that sold Jorah and Tyrion. I'm trying to think.
You're not gonna throw
Anyone else?
Reek down there for the episode.
Oh yeah, that was the last one I can think of. Reek, yeah, for betraying Sansa. So that was pretty bad. I think, yeah, I think
You
that's
couldn't
everybody
just
in the
throw
episode.
that damn thing away, even if you're not gonna help her. You can't just shut your mouth and throw the candle away, Reek. Damn it.
Had the snitch and everything. It was a mess. Stupid. Poor
All
Sansa. Because Sansa's like kind of in the middle. Because like I'm glad that she's doing more, but I wouldn't put her in like my favorites or anything. Like she's not. She's a character I don't dislike, but I don't like her enough to put her in my favorites. You know, she's in that middle area.
Has Tommen worked his way to the bottom yet, or is he still in the middle?
I mean, he's definitely like if I had to add one more person to the least faves, it would probably be him, just because he's
right on that edge of falling into the least fave.
He's just so incompetent. Like as a leader, as a human. I mean, what has he done? Like what has he done as the king? Like I feel like if Joffrey did this little, like he would be, drugged through the streets. And they were throwing stuff at him and booing him and trying to beat him up in the streets. And like Tommen has done absolutely nothing at all, and he's just chilling in the tower.
That's like the thing. Like Robert had a lot of flaws, but never under Robert's leadership would his queen and his mother and all these people be thrown into jail.
Right. Yeah.
Even Joffrey never would have. I mean, a war would have broke out across that dam, which is not, maybe it's not better. I don't know. But even Joffrey would not have let Cersei be thrown in that jail, or even Marjorie would never have landed in there.
No, Joffrey would have just killed all the sparrows by now.
The High Sparrow would have been gone.
Yeah, they would have been dead.
His head would have been on the wall.
Pretty much. Like if I mean, I hate this. I mean, that's like not a positive, but comparing the characters, Joffrey, as terrible as he was, he got some stuff done. Like he would have killed the sparrows by now. So if you want to give him any, I guess, accolades, if you will, his crazy demeanor and his passion for violence would have definitely gotten the sparrows killed by now, while Tommen just sits and twiddles his thumbs until he's told what to do. It's frustrating.
He throws a tantrum and then does nothing.
He says he's going to do stuff, but he's not going to. I mean, I'd be shocked if he did. It's just going to just let his wife, his brother-in-law, and his mom get thrown in jail.
All right. Well, that was our reaction and discussion for Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 7, The Gift. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are up to date with all of my latest videos, including each and every one of our Game of Thrones reactions. Also, make sure you are following Tyler. Tyler, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, if you search up my name on here, Tyler Calvert, you'll find my channel for reviews, reactions, rankings, all that stuff. And you'll find me here as well on the channel doing Game of Thrones, but also we're finally bringing back Daredevil, which has been very exciting as we had quite a bit long of a hiatus. But, I love Daredevil, so I'm excited to see more of Larry's reaction to Daredevil, because he's actually, the roles are reversed for Daredevil, because this is my first time watching Game of Thrones, and it's his first time watching Daredevil. So the roles are reversed, and it's fun. And also Hannah's there, so that's also a fun added bonus. And also you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and it's Tyler Calvert.
Perfect. And make sure to leave your comments down below. How did you feel about Episode 7? Do you agree with what we said about Tommen? Do you disagree? Let us know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit either one of us up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.